how many interest rate rises can you handle? So the current rate's approximately 8%, just to round off the figures. And I just mentioned before that one rise might equal $500, and a second rise will equal $1,000, and a third will be $1,500. But once you hit the fourth rise, potentially, it's not $500 anymore because you can't afford that home. And like I said earlier, it might be that fourth rise might cost you $20,000 plus because you've all these fees now that you're going to have to pay to sell the home. So you don't look at an interest rate rise necessarily as just being $500 each time. Look at it as being, okay, I can cop one, I can cop two, maybe three, but where's my level where I'm going to be in trouble, which might be a good reason to lock in a fixed interest rate. So you might pay a higher rate, but at least you know that you've planned out for 4 or 5 years, exactly what your cash flow is going to be. Okay, what it takes to save $10,000. Let's just say that you have a salary of $40,000. The tax man will take at least 7 of that. Say you're currently renting a home, it might be, you might be splitting, and it might be about 5. Other living expenses 7, car 6, entertainment 4, and that'll give you 10 grand savings. So if you're planning on saving $10,000, you'd want to at least be, earning 40 grand just to do that. And that's probably even tough to do. Like, it's a little margin for error there of $1,000, but you might even need to be earning 50 or 60 grand to be able to take those savings on board. So, as I mentioned earlier with the government scheme, in the meantime, while you're saving this $10,000, how much is the market moving as well? So you might have a plan of going, I'm going to save so hard for 3 years and have $30,000 at the end of the day. But your problem is going to be that even though that $30,000 might be 10% today, in 4 years' time it might be 5%. So you've just got to really plan out where you're going. This is something I used when I was sort of starting out to really track where my money was being spent, because how many people do their tax return at the end of the year and go, oh, geez, I earned all this money, but then you go, where is it? So money just disappears. So this is just a month-by-month thing that I used, I found handy. You put in your salary, you put in your expenses, and you can go, geez, I spend $70 a week on petrol on average, and you can sort of really figure out where you're spending your money. And it just makes you aware of what you're doing, and you can change your money habits. So if you're serious about buying a home, there might be little sacrifices you can make, and this will just help you along the way. So how much deposit do you really need? So we'll run with this $300,000 example. So if you had, say, 30 grand, you might think, I've got a 10% deposit here. That's a pretty good deposit. The problem becomes that once you buy your home, your stamp duty is going to be, in Victoria where you don't get the exemptions, your stamp duty may be 15 grand. So suddenly that's cut in half. And then you've got lender's mortgage insurance. So does anyone know what that is? So just for those who don't, it's if you don't have a 20% deposit, the bank will also require you to pay just a one-off fee called a lender's mortgage insurance. And in this case, it's lots of variables, but I'm just around figures $3,000 maybe. So you will get your first home owner's grant of about $10,000 for buying an existing home. But then what are you going to do with the home? If you're moving into your first home, do you have any furniture? Does it need some renovations to get off the ground? So suddenly that $30,000, which was initially a 10% deposit, can really be cut down to not very much at all. So just sort of be aware that, when you are saving your money, that it can be spent very quickly.